One of my favorite ones was, this was forever ago. We're going to a friend's house, and it was a 4-flight walk up. And so 4 flights. Obviously, I walk faster than Nick, and I used to wait for him, but we've just been friends too long. I can't. We're like an old married couple. I'm just gone. So I knew where we were going, and I knew that he did not. So I leave him, and I go into my buddy's apartment. I was like, Nick doesn't know where you live. So that's fun, you know, just see what happens. About 30 minutes go by. Nick finally comes into the apartment, and I asked him, I was like, where were you? He goes, I didn't know where to go. And I go, I know. So, like, you've been gone for a long time. You know, did you go back outside? He goes, I've been in someone else's apartment all this time. He went into someone's, he was just trying handles. And the door opened, he walked in, said, I'm with Nate, and went and sat on their couch. That's how far he made it. Think about where your couch is. That's how deep he made it into their place. And he's so confident. I mean, they had to be like, I don't know, maybe we know a Nate, you know? But if there was, I don't think things through. No. I'm a huge Vanderbilt fan. And I think a couple of us, you know, it's a storm is coming together. I did not go to Vanderbilt too. Vanderbilt asked me to say that. And I was like, I think people know, and they go, we do too, but just say it also. Vanderbilt went to their first bowl game in football in like 20 years, in 2008. And so we all go to it. We're very excited. It's at Tennessee Titans Stadium. So me and a bunch of buddies get together. We go tailgate. We get cornhole, a grill. Like we're going all out. And my ticket was at will call. So I was like, look, I gotta go get my ticket. I'll be right back. So I go get my ticket. And before the lady gives it to me, she ripped it, which means you have to go in. And it was, I mean, a full 3 hours before the game starts. I was like, I don't want to go in yet, you know? And she's like, you have to go. And I just walked in to just an empty stadium, 60,000 empty seats. I go to my seat. I don't even just go to I went to like the one I'm supposed to go to, like a loser. The players are like in jeans. They're not even dressed yet. I was like, I'm real excited for the game. I like startled them. They're like, oh, I didn't even know anybody was in here. Did you go to Vandy? I was like, you would think with how early I'm here, but I also think if I went to Vandy, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in. I walked to the top of the stadium and just watched my friends I just set up at the very top. And I was like, I'm already in, guys. Yeah, I decided to save our numbered seats. Nothing was open. I stood in front of a concession stand like I was waiting for an iPhone to come out. Just that gate was down. And I'm just like already trying to figure out what I'm gonna eat. And they came and opened it, and one side got stuck, and I helped them. I go, I'll get that. So I helped them open it. They're like, oh, do you work here? I was like, I've been here a little bit longer than you have. So another one, Pete, I had to shut down. This was, again, like the 1980s. I was alive. You could fight an orangutan at a fair. They would have an orangutan just sitting in a boxing ring, and guys would pay to fight it. And I say guys because I just can't imagine one woman ever fought this orangutan. I think you could put an orangutan in a room with 1,000 women, and when they walked out, they're like, did anybody fight it? But it never crossed their mind to fight it. Levels. That MMA is a great way to protect yourself, though. I watched, here's another way, if you don't know how to fight. I watched a thing on 60 Minutes. They did this piece about buying tigers. Like, you can buy, like, if you guys want a tiger, I could get you in touch with a guy that can give you a pretty sweet deal on a tiger. 60 Minutes did this whole undercover report, and they filmed, like, where this guy keeps tigers, and then they interviewed him afterwards. They're like, hey, do you think it's too easy to buy a tiger in this country? And he was like, yeah, sadly it is. It's way too easy. And I was like, that was my favorite part, you know? Like, that shows why America's the best. I didn't even know you could buy tigers before I watched this. I would have been embarrassed to ask. And then I watched it, and I was like, I don't really have to jump through hoops if I want to buy a tiger. It's not an all-day thing. It's an hour. I'll be right back with our tiger. And everybody wants to get rid of guns. And what makes me nervous is, like, you took away guns from people, those are the exact same people that will buy tigers. And that's going to be a much bigger problem. You're probably going to be like, look, here's your gun back. And they'll be like, no, I'm good. My tiger is way better than my gun. My gun missed all the time. My tiger rarely misses. Even if he does miss, even if he does miss, it's just for a second. It's never long. Like if some guy dodges the tiger and he's like, your dumb tiger missed, it's like, well, he did not. He is right behind you now. And he is furious. So thank you guys so much, man. You guys were great. If you go to Europe, just so you know, I was a kid in the 80s and 90s. And in the 80s and 90s, kids were getting kidnapped pretty rapidly. And look, I'm not trying to say we were more desirable or something. I think we were outside more. A lot more opportunity, It's a lot easier to get us into vans. Didn't take much. And so parents back then, they would watch TV, and I think it would scare the parents. You realize now everything's a crime show. Everything that you watch is crime, podcasts are crime, movies are crime. You almost like see it so much. But back then, you only had so many channels. And then when they would watch these shows, they were very powerful shows. My parents used to watch a show called Rescue 911. And it would just show reenactments of crimes. It was powerful. I've seen 3 seconds of Rescue 911. I remember walking through the living room. My parents are watching it. I look at the TV. A guy has a ski mask on, and a woman is asleep with her feet out from under the covers, and he started rubbing her foot. That's all I saw. I don't know what happened before or after, but I know I've never been with my feet out from under the covers because I accidentally saw that 30 years ago. And my feet get so hot, and I want to put them out so bad. I mean, try it every night for 30 years, and then that image pops in my head, and I yank them right back under. I'll be in a hotel room, and I'm like, look, you can't get in here, dude. You've locked everything. And I'm like, that's exactly what he's been waiting for. He's probably already in here. So I will never go through that process to get my name changed, so I just deal with it. And it gets brought up. Once I was checking a bag, and the guy behind the counter, he sees my ticket says Nathan, the license says Nathaniel. He was like, this is not good. He goes, these names don't match. And I was like, but they match, right? Like, you can see the leap that we took to get from one to the other. He was like, but they're not the same. I was like, but they're the same. And I'm realizing he cannot find out people call me Nate at that point because, I mean, he can't handle that. He's gonna call the police over to be like, there's a guy with 3 names trying to fly right here. If you guys want to just shoot him from over there or something. So I was like, what do you want me to do? He goes, you should go home. That's all I got. He's like, I can't believe you've made it this far. I was like, let me just try it, Shouldn't I try it? I said, look, I'll give you that those names don't match. But what I think is going to help a ton is the picture on the ID. Something that I've always loved that they did. And I think with 70% of that name matching and 100% face, 170%, I think I'll get through it. And this is what he told me. This is honestly what he said. He goes, look, man, I get it, all right? He's trying to relate to me. And he was like, my name's Joseph. That's what's on my license. So I can't buy a ticket under my nickname Bart. They're not gonna let me through. He said it like, right? Like, do you know does that make sense? And I was like, that doesn't at all. Those are 2 different names, all right? You should be over there and you should be over here because that's how you're treating me. Like I'm a Joseph Bart. Made it through. And on that trip, I was going to Seattle. So we get our picture and we come back down and we're driving back. And on the way back, since my buddy was driving, he did not see the dead horse, I'm like, we can't not see it. So it's just one road. And I was like, I'll just show you where it's at. So we're driving and we get to it. I was like, it's right here. And I pointed and the horse was standing up doing unbelievable. One of the healthier horses that I've ever seen. I learned that horses lay down to sleep. I did not know that. I don't know what I thought before that day. I don't know. That they lock their knees. That's why they have 4 knees. I don't know. That's what I would have probably argued with you about it. People put signs up that say, like, horses lay down, don't call 911, because people call the police. They drive by a horse laying down in some guy's yard, and they're like, y'all guys should go, like, deal with that. And they're like, some people knock on people's door. Hey, is your dad home? Your horse died outside. And I thought you should hear it from a stranger first. Thank you. It was unbelievable. I mean, all right. I don't know. I've done comedy for a while. I've done a lot of different shows. They're not, they're not as all exciting as the Tonight Show. I did one in a prison once, like in it, like all the way in it. Like we went to them. Like I didn't like meet them out, you know. So we go in. Let's say you guys are the inmates. So I'm sitting here. I'm like doing my dumb jokes. None of it works. Every joke I have involves being outside in the past 30 years. Like. I'm like, traffic's crazy. You guys remember, who remembers, people remember traffic here, right? So I'm doing my dumb jokes, and then an inmate gets up and starts walking towards me. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. You know, like he's gonna use me to break out. And I don't want to point at him, but no one's like looking, but I am using hand gestures. I'm like, what do you guys do on this side of the room? Should he be walking up like that? Turns out the bathrooms are behind me. He's a good guy. I judged him on what he was wearing and where we were at. It was my fault. So I'm like against a brick wall, and it's like goes like halfway up, and then the urinals are like all behind here. So then he comes to use the bathroom, and then he comes to the urinal right behind me. So then it's just me and him just looking at everybody, and he peed. He peed without even kind of it was the most confidence I've ever seen in my entire life. I thought, whatever you think this guy did it, all right? That's not, an innocent man doesn't pee like that. That's a guilty, I'm not getting out.